Down and out, riddled with doubt, had nowhere to go. Everything's moving so slow, the time's moving too fast. I hope this feeling don't last. Well, I've been away from myself too long. My body is aching from all my wrongs. And now tripping over you, yeah. On to you. I was down and out, so riddled with doubt.
am the devil. I am the Lord Satan from the netherworld, ruler of the damned and eternal king of hell. Even I, the master of deceit, can only stomach so much bullshit from the mainstream media and indie grifters. That's why I tune in to Morning Extra with Uncle Warren, because he eliminates my competition, and also because I know I'm gonna see that motherfucker soon.
Deo, Deo.
Baby's got a burger and a shooter and that shit just won't go down. Baby's got a burger and a shooter and that shit just won't go down. Corrosion to her thighs, erosion of her pride. Baby's got a shooter, baby's got corrosion now, corrosion now. Baby's got it.
Good morning, sweet cheeks. It is I, Uncle Warren, leader of the rebellion, Casper Van Diem's stunt double. Not really. None of those things are true. Except for me being Uncle Warren. That is true. Maybe. Sometimes. My little friend here said, oh, no, boss. Still shaking the bush, boss. Still shaking the bush. All right, you can get down there. You get out there, you little rascal, you. What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, September 9th. Apparently, it's a plethora of days. It's National Wiener Schnitzel Day, according to Ed. Global Solidarity says it's National When Pigs Fly Day and Wonderful Weirdos Day. Well, the Wonderful Weirdos part I can definitely get behind, and I don't need pigs to fly for that. We got Desert Menace in the house. Props in here. Antoine Dixon, your mouth. You stupid. What's up, Rick? Rick taking a smoke break from his smoke break as the concierge in hell there. Thanks for stepping out. As we said, Ed's here, Global Solidarity, and Noli D. What is good? You're good. That's what's good. That's who's good. And you're all good, too, for hanging out with us on another Monday full of news and entertainment. Hopefully, you'll be informed and you'll be entertained. And you'll walk away from this show saying, you know what? Probably not going to get that time back. But it might have been worth it. So we'll see. Anywho, we have, as always, we have like a ton of shit to get to. So let's get to it. Shall we? We got Turkey. The Turkey's president is calling for Islamic alliance against Israel. Ooh. Turkey's president made the statement following reports from Palestinian and Turkish officials regarding the killing of an American woman by Israeli troops. And we'll get to that story momentarily. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said on Saturday Islamic countries should form an alliance against what he calls the growing threat of expansionism from Israel. This from the New Arab. He made the comment after describing what Palestinian and Turkish officials says was the killing by Israeli troops of a Turkish-American woman taking part in a protest on Friday against settlement expansion in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. The only step that will stop Israeli arrogance, Israeli banditry, and Israeli state terrorism is the alliance of Islamic countries, Erdogan said at an Islamic Schools Association event near Istanbul, once Constantinople. He said recent steps that Turkey has taken to improve ties with Egypt and Syria are aimed at forming a line of solidarity against the growing threat of expansionism, which he said also threatened Lebanon and Syria. Erdogan hosted Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Ankara this week, and they discussed the Gaza war and ways to further repair their long-frozen ties during what was the first such presidential visit in 12 years. So, things moving and shaking against Israel. And they hang on just a second here. I think I got that in the wrong spot. Where is this? Where are you at? Pardon me. Okay, there it is. All right. So yeah, they're trying to get their ducks in a row, as they say, because they know Israel's got the big boss behind them, United States. So they're going to have to do what they can to stop Israel, but they're going to have to get creative about it too. And this is what they were talking about. Family demands independent probe into the killing of U.S. activist in the West Bank. The family of a Turkish-American activist shot and killed by Israeli forces in the occupied West Bank urged the United States to launch an independent inquiry into her killing, saying an Israeli probe was not adequate. Not like the U.S. probe's going to be any better, but, you know, Aysinur Agi, 26, butchered that name, so sorry, was shot by an Israeli soldier while taking part in a demonstration against illegal Israeli settlements near the West Bank village of Beta, near the city of Nablus on Friday, according to witnesses and local authorities. An autopsy confirmed that Agi, who died of her wounds at a Nablus hospital, was killed by a sniper bullet to the head, the hallmark of the IDF. Nablus Governor Ghassan Douglas told Al Jazeera on Saturday. Nablus, the governorate where Beta is located, will hold an official ceremony commemorating Agi after her body is handed to her family, said Douglas. A U.S. citizen, Aysinur was peacefully standing for justice when she was killed, said her family in a statement on Saturday, describing her as a fiercely passionate human rights activist. Her presence in our lives was taken needlessly, unlawfully, and violently by the Israeli military, the statement said. And there she is right there. Yeah, it's very sad. Responding to her killing, the Israeli military said its forces had fired towards, quote, a main instigator of violent activity who hurled rocks at them during a protest, and that it was looking into reports that a foreign national was killed. Rocks. So yeah, trade. What do we do? Let's do rocks. Let's shoot her in the head. Because she probably wasn't even throwing rocks either. That's their thing, though. You throw rocks, we throw bullets really, really fast. That's why everybody loves Israel. Not just Raymond. They love Israel as well. Meanwhile, in Shitville, Israeli lawmaker calls for B'Tselem chief to be arrested for assisting the enemy. This is from Middle East Eye. Likud MP urges police to question Yuli Novak under law punishable by death penalty or life sentence after Security Council speech. Okay, so Israeli lawmaker has written a letter to the head of the police calling for the detention and interrogation of the director of Israeli human rights group B'Tselem, following a speech she made at the UN National Security Council earlier this week. Tali Gottlieb, a member of Israel's parliament, penned the letter to Israeli Chief Police Commissioner Daniel Levy on Thursday, calling for Yuli Novak, B'Tselem's executive director, to be questioned. On Wednesday, Novak told the UN Security Council via video link that Israel had pursued a goal of, quote, Jewish supremacy, quote, over the past 11 months since its war on Gaza began following the October 7th Hamas-led attacks. To understand the Israeli government's criminal conduct over the last 11 months, you have to understand the overall goal of this regime, Novak told the Security Council. Since Israel was founded, its guiding logic has been to promote Jewish supremacy over the entire territory under its control. She said that Israel's far-right government had exploited the collective trauma of Israelis following the October 7th attacks to violently advance its project of cementing Israeli control over the entire land. Good old Israel. We don't like what you have to say, so we're going to try and give you the death penalty or put you in jail. What's up? We got Gene in the house, and we got Willie Bragg, too. What's going on, Willie? Good to see you. Willie says, welcome to 2024, whereby Democrats treat George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and Liz Cheney better than they treat Bernie Sanders, Ralph Nader, and Susan Sarandon. Democrats loves 2002 neocons and punch left. Thank you for the 10 spot too there, Willie. Appreciate you. You got a show tonight, Willie? Let me know. But you're right. Yeah, it's up is down, left is right. Crack is not whack. All that shit. So suspend your disbelief because we're in the middle of crazy town when it comes to this kind of stuff too. What's up, Bella? Good to see you. Meanwhile, they're not letting up in the UK. Tens of thousands march for Palestine towards Israeli embassy in London. This was over the weekend. Tens of thousands of protesters marched for Palestine in central London on Saturday as Israel continues its attacks on Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Organizers held a series of speeches at the start of the march on Regent Street before walking through the heart of West London towards the Israeli embassy in South Kensington. Flanked by an army of volunteers in green vests, protesters held Palestinian flags and placards that called on Britain to impose a full arms embargo on Israel and for the Israeli military to end its war in Gaza. Iqbal Muhammad, one of the independent MPs elected in July who stood on pro-Palestine platform, joined the march. Muhammad told Middle East Eye that Britain's decision to cut 30 out of 350 arms contracts with Israel and the decision to restore partial funding to UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, was a drop in the ocean. I was in the chamber when the government made its announcement, but it's only a drop in the ocean. We need to be doing more, said Muhammad. The Foreign Secretary's announcement showed that our legal assessments demonstrate concern that there is a possibility that British arms may have been or likely used to harm innocent human beings. Britain could be indicted for possible war crimes, and my job as a British citizen and parliamentarian is to ensure we comply with international law. Saturday's march was the 18th national demonstration for Palestine since the start of the war last October, and the first time a pro-Palestine march has been held in the vicinity of the Israeli embassy in South Kensington. Yes. It was organized by a coalition of organizations, including the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Friends of Al-Aqsa, the Muslim Association of Britain, the Stop the War Coalition, and the Palestine Forum in Britain. I have back problems, but that is nothing compared to what Palestinians are going through right now in Gaza, said Zainab Bayed, a protester who has attended every Palestine march since the beginning of the war. The protest, which ended on the edge of Hyde Park near the Israeli embassy, was met with metal barriers and dozens of police officers. On the other side of the barricade, a group called Stop the Hate UK held a counter demonstration to oppose the National March for Palestine. So wait, Stop the Hate? Wait, which hate? The hate for genocide? Stop hating genocide, you guys. The group, waving Israeli flags and playing techno music, oh boy, held their protest in memory of the Israelis killed by Hamas while attending the Nova Festival in October 7th, which most of them were killed by the IDF and their helicopters. The group also called on Hamas to return the hundreds of Israeli captives it had taken back to Gaza on October 7th. See, they keep talking about the hostages, right? Who, when they come back, they all say that nothing happened to them. They were treated nice. Meanwhile, you go to a Israeli jail and, you know, it turns into Oz, that old HBO show about prison and buggery. But still in the UK, some good news for one person here. UK prosecutors dropped case against academic over posts related to October 7th attack. And there's the person right there. Britain's Crown Prosecution Service has dropped a case against an academic after her employer, the University of Portsmouth, referred her to Prevent for a series of posts resulting in counterterrorism officers raiding her house and confiscating electronic devices. This is where we are in 2024. Posts on social media gets a knock on your door, if you're lucky, if they even knock at all. Amira Abdelhamid is a lecturer in international relations at the University of Portsmouth. Last year, the university suspended her after she posted a series of posts on X related to the October 7th attacks. During a meeting in mid-October, the university said she was suspended and referred to the Prevent program, accusing her of bringing the university's name into disrepute and supporting a prescribed group. 2 months after her suspension, counterterrorism police raided Abdelhamed's home, arrested her, and confiscated her personal belongings, including electronic devices such as her laptop, phone, Kindle, and a protest sign with Palestine written in Arabic. Notebooks containing Arabic writing and powder eyeliner were also taken. Notebooks they took electronics, a sign, and an eyeliner. Commenting on her experience over the last few months, Abdelhamed described it as a relief, but nothing compared to what Palestinians are going through in Gaza. I knew my employer had referred me to Prevent after the Jewish Chronicle article. An activist told me that the police would come eventually. She told Middle East Eye. I waited for the police to come for weeks, and after 2 months, I didn't think they'd come, but they did, she continued. The first thought was when the police came, did I do something else wrong? Surely they're not here for the tweets. If this happened in Egypt, then this is so normal, but I never expected that to happen here, which is naive of me. Yeah, that's unfortunately people are learning the hard way about these things. The police took all the devices inside my home, a protest sign that had Palestine written in Arabic, any notebook with foreign writing, and my powder eyeliner to test it in the lab because they thought it was gunpowder. They thought eyeliner was gun. Fucking the fuck. She denies being anti-Semitic in her tweets, and she had said she has yet to receive her confiscated belongings, leaving her unable to teach or continue her research. The European Legal Support Center has been providing support to Abdelhamed and others involved in similar cases. Tasnima, an advocacy and communications officer for the ELSC, described the charges levied against Abdelhamed, who is originally from Egypt, as disproportionate and politicized. I believe Prevent is that organization that monitors your social media and goes after you. I guess saying Gestapo was a little too on the nose, so they had to go with Prevent. The eyeliner could have been a secret spy device. A sexy secret spy device, you mean? The 007 eyeliner of Dr. Death. That's right. If looks could kill, seriously, those eyes, watch out. Look, unless you're Cyclops from X-Men, I don't think eyes are going to hurt you. All right, I'm just saying. But, one thing that can hurt you is being in a school in Gaza, because Israel loves to bomb the fuck out of those things. It's from Press TV. Israel bombed 16 schools in Gaza in 1 month, according to a rights group. Human rights group says that it has documented a dangerous escalation in Israel's systematic policy of targeting schools that have been turned into shelters for displaced civilians across the besieged Gaza Strip. According to a statement by the Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Monitor, since the beginning of August, Israel has bombed 16 schools used as shelters in the Gaza Strip, killing 217 Palestinians and injuring hundreds, many of them women and children. The Israeli military has also escalated its targeting of civilians over the past week in the Gaza and North Gaza governorates by bombing residential homes, gatherings, and commercial stands, as well as shelter centers and their surroundings, the statement said. In the most recent aggression, the Swiss-based group said its field team has documented Israeli airstrikes at midnight on Saturday, targeting the Halama al-Sadia school in Jabalia al-Nazla, north of the Gaza Strip. The building was sheltering hundreds of forcibly displaced people. The attack killed 4 Palestinians and injured others. Earlier on Saturday, Israeli aircraft also bombed Amr Ibn al-As school, another shelter for displaced people north of Gaza City, killing 4 Palestinians, including a child. Targeting and destroying schools on top of the displaced has no legitimate justification and constitutes a blatant violation of the principles of distinction, military necessity, proportionality, and the obligation to take necessary precautions, the group said. Preliminary investigations by our field team indicate that the occupation army is deliberately destroying what remains of shelter centers in the Strip, including schools and public facilities, with the aim of creating a coercive environment that forces civilians to leave their homes and displace towards central and southern Gaza, the group said. These attacks are part of the actual implementation of genocide in Gaza and aim to depopulate the Palestinian land by killing and forcibly displacing as many Palestinians as possible, it added. Elsewhere in the statement, the Geneva-based organization said that the complicity of the United States and its allies had emboldened Israel to press ahead with its months-long genocidal campaign in Gaza. The complicity of Washington and many European countries amid international silence and failure to take effective measures to stop the crime of genocide encourages Israel to continue its plans for the genocide of Palestinians through direct and indirect killing of forced displacement, it said. Yeah, so, and that's we've been seeing this go on for some time, where they would just go after, they would tell them, okay, you need to go here to this area, and as soon as they get to that area, they end up getting bombed. And of course, they kept saying, well, you know, the schools were holding Hamas fighters, and they've yet to bring evidence to bear regarding that. So, meanwhile, in France, you know, the French don't play, right? They have no fucks left. I don't know how you say fucks in French, but they got none of those. And they're really tired of Macron and his little Napoleon impression that nobody's buying. This is from Common Dreams. 100,000 plus people across France marched to decry Macron's denial of democracy. In cities and towns across France on Saturday, more than 100,000 people answered the call from the left-wing political party La France Insoumise for mass protests against President Emmanuel Macron's selection of right-wing prime minister. The demonstrations came 2 months after the left coalition won more seats than Macron's centrist coalition or the far-right Rassemblement National in the National Assembly, and 2 days after the president announced that Michel Barnier, the right-wing former Brexit negotiator for the European Union, would lead the government. The selection was made after negotiations between Macron and RN leader Marine Le Pen, leading protesters on Saturday to accuse the president of a denial of democracy. Expressing one's vote will be useless as long as Macron is in power, a protester named Manon Bonijol told Al Jazeera. And this is some of the protests there going on there. Good stuff. Probably could do without the techno music, but that's just a personal choice there. A poll released on Friday by Elabe showed that 74% of French people believe Macron has disregarded the results of July's snap parliamentary elections, and 55% said the election had been stolen. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the leader of La France Insoumise, or France Unbowed, also accused Macron of stealing the election in a speech at the demonstration in Paris on Saturday. Democracy is not just the art of accepting you have won, but the humility to accept you have lost, Mélenchon told protesters. I call you for what will be a long battle. He added that the French people are in rebellion. They have entered into revolution. You remember the last time there was revolution? Head off. Macron's centrist coalition won about 160 assembly seats out of 577 in July, compared to the left's 180. The RN won about 140. Yeah, so these they fucked around, and now they're starting to find out. But who knows what's going to happen in France? I mean, you know, if they protested over raising the retirement age, I mean, just think what they're going to do when you try to steal their fucking democracy. Oops. Exactly. So meanwhile in Pakistan, they're protesting as well. Thousands protest to demand ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan's release. Thousands of people have taken to the streets in the Pakistani capital, demanding the release of former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who's been behind bars for more than a year on what his party calls are politically motivated charges. Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI party, organized the rally in Islamabad on Sunday, marking its first show of strength since the disputed national and regional elections back in February. Images and videos posted on social media platform Twitter, I'm not calling it X, showed Khan supporters marching towards the capital from various parts of the country. We will not rest until Khan is released from jail, said Khan's close aide Hamad Azhar in the opening speech that set the tone of the rally. Khan is the only person who can save this country from the clutches of corrupt and incompetent politicians, said Salman Akram Raja, a prominent lawyer and PTI leader from Lahore. I hope that's how you say it. The Islamabad administration had blocked key entry points into the city with shipping containers and riot police deployed to prevent possible unrest. Social media videos showed dozens of PTI activists successfully pushing away containers to clear the way at one of the entry points. Yes, I know there should be a Star Trek II reference where Kirk's going, "Gone!" But unfortunately, Ricardo Montalban was not available for comment because he's dead. Unless you know a medium that knows how to talk to him, probably not going to say much. Everybody knows that the U.S. has a horrible pullout game. Sorry, ladies. And it looks like they're trying again, this time in Iraq. Iraq and the U.S. agree on a phased coalition pullout. Final deal expected soon. And there's some assholes over there. Iraq and the United States have agreed on a phased pullout of the U.S.-led anti-terrorism coalition, but have yet to sign a final agreement, the Iraqi defense minister said yesterday. The United States has some 2,500 troops in Iraq and 900 in Syria as part of the international coalition against ISIS, the same people that the CIA created, by the way. They have been engaged in months of talks with Baghdad on a withdrawal of forces, but fell short of announcing any timeline so far. On Sunday, Iraqi Defense Minister Thabit al-Abbasi told pan-Arab television channel Al-Hadath that the coalition will pull out from bases in Baghdad and other parts of federal Iraq by September of next year and from the autonomous northern Kurdistan region by September 2026. The pullout is two-phased, and maybe we will sign the agreement within the next few days, Abbasi said. He added that the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin had said in a meeting that 2 years were not enough to carry out the withdrawal. We refused his proposal regarding an extra third year, Abbasi said. Coalition forces have been targeted dozens of times with drones and rocket fire in both Iraq and Syria as violence related to the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza since early October has drawn in Iran-backed armed groups across the Middle East. U.S. forces have carried out multiple retaliatory strikes against these groups in both countries. ISIS seized part of Iraq and Syria in 2014 and was defeated by Baghdad 3 years later, and in Syria in 2019. But ISIS fighters continue to operate in remote desert areas, although they no longer control any territory. Iraqi security forces say they are capable of tackling ISIS remnants unassisted as the group poses no significant threat. So, interesting. I wonder how that's going to turn out. Since they did a bang-up job getting out of Afghanistan, people hanging on the plane trying to get out. Crazy talk there. So, but who knows? As soon as they get out, the sooner they get out, the better. Because the United States just... That's the thing. And why do they don't hate us for our freedom. They hate us for our freedom of being able to get in your country and steal your shit and kill your people. I think that's pretty much what people hate. Another thing that the United States hates is North Korea. And somebody's getting busy making a new naval base. What? Shh, don't tell. Bolstering the country's naval force is an urgent task, DPRK leader Kim Jong-un said during a site visit. There he is right there. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has visited the construction site of a new modern naval base and has pledged to further develop the country's maritime forces. The new facility's location would give Pyongyang a strategic advantage, he said. Late last year, Kim ordered North Korea's military and arms manufacturing industry to further accelerate war preparations in the face of what he characterized as unprecedented acts of confrontation against the country by the U.S. and its regional allies. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea has since intensified missile tests and also unveiled a new multiple rocket launcher and kamikaze drones, among other weaponry. On Sunday, the state-run Korean Central News Agency reported on Kim's inspection of the port construction site. The media outlet quoted the country's leader as singling out the development of a modern navy as an urgent priority given the regional security environment. And there's a nice lady there. Kim also pointed out that it was only natural for a country like North Korea to place special emphasis on this particular area since the DPRK is bounded on the east and west sides by the sea. The official reportedly added that with larger and more modern warships and submarines expected to be commissioned by the Navy in the near future, a base capable of hosting them is a pressing necessity. He also revealed plans to build a modern port city that would serve as the base for the country's Navy. The U.S., South Korea, and Japan have repeatedly accused the DPRK of unnecessarily ratcheting up tensions in the region with its missile tests and other shows of force. Pyongyang, in turn, insists that its military programs are strictly defensive in nature and are meant to fend off potential foreign aggression. North Korea has on multiple occasions cited joint U.S., South Korean, and U.S., Japanese military drills in its vicinity that have at times involved American nuclear-powered submarines and nuclear-capable bombers as proof that Washington may harbor such intentions. Pun not intended, though. Because he said harbor. You get it? And they're making a thing. If you're not pissed off about something, here you go. More money to Ukraine. U.S. announces $250 million arm package for Ukraine. This is from Dave DeCamp at antiwar.com. And folks, even though I do get a lot of these news from other sources as well, a lot of times antiwar.com will have links to those other news sources too. So it's not just Dave DeCamp and the gang there who do great job on their own, but they're also sharing out these other good sources of news. And as always, if you're going to read a news source, always be critical. Don't take it at face value. Look for other sources as well that confirm it, and use your critical thinking skills. That's what you're here for. I ain't here to spoon feed you. U.S. on Friday announced a new $250 million weapons package for Ukraine that includes HIMARS, ammunition, air defenses, Stinger missiles, artillery rounds, and other equipment, including Little Debbie snap cakes that can be used as weapons. The weapons package is being provided through the Presidential Drawdown Authority, which allows President Biden to provide arms directly from U.S. military stockpiles. Stockpiles which are dwindling fast, by the way. The funds are being pulled from the $95 billion foreign military aid bill President Biden signed into law in April. The bill includes $61 billion to fund the proxy war in Ukraine for another year. The new arms package comes as Russian forces are making steady gains in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk Oblast and amid fighting in Russia's Kursk Oblast, which has failed to distract Russia from its push in the Donbass. According to the Pentagon, the arms package includes RIM-7 missiles, Stinger missiles, ammunition for high mobility HIMARS, 155 millimeter and 105 millimeter artillery ammunition, tube-launched, optically tracked wire-guided missiles, Javelin and AT-4 anti-armor systems, Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, M113 armored personnel carriers, mine-resistant, ambush-protected MRAP vehicles, small arms ammunition and grenades, patrol boats, maritime training equipment, demolitions equipment and munitions, and spare parts, ancillary equipment, services, training, and transportation. You're welcome. The Pentagon also released a fact sheet stating that the U.S. committed $59.9 billion in military equipment to Ukraine since the Russian invasion began in February 2022. Once the $61 billion from the April military aid bill is exhausted, total U.S. spending on the proxy war, which includes other types of assistance and U.S. deployments to Europe, will reach about $186 billion with a motherfucking B. And not the kind that pollinates flowers. Billion. For those not knowing that tune, that was the 12 Days of Christmas, which every day is Christmas for Ukraine when the U.S. sends them weapons. Meanwhile, you may have heard about this story a while back about the water getting poisoned in Honolulu. Well, it's still ongoing. This is from the Maritime Executive. All right. Red Hill haunts U.S. Navy as Honolulu orders weekly pollutants testing. There's Red Hill. I think that's Pearl Harbor there. And there's the USS Arizona right over there. Pollutants from the Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility continue to haunt the U.S. Navy after the Honolulu City Council passed a resolution demanding weekly water testing to protect public health. This comes after fuel contaminants were detected in wells in Aiea, located about a mile away from the facility. The council adopted a resolution demanding that the Navy and the Department of Defense immediately implement weekly testing of all Red Hill monitoring wells and drinking water wells for all chemical contaminants. The weekly testing has been deemed necessary to protect public health from dangers stemming from past fuel and hazardous materials that were used, stored, or released at the facility that was shut down 2 years ago. In November 2021, the World War II-era Red Hill facility suffered a 19,000-gallon jet fuel spill inside an access tunnel. The fuel percolated into a well and contaminated the drinking water supply for about 93,000 American soldiers, sailors, and family members at base Pearl Harbor, Hickam. At least 2,000 people reported that they were sickened by fuel in the water. More than 850 sought medical treatment, and at least 17 people said they were hospitalized overnight, Hawaii's Department of Health found in a survey. The Honolulu Council continues to express dissatisfaction over the Navy's slow and inadequate response to reporting the aquifer contamination following the 2021 devastating fuel leak into its water supply sources, which it terms as being unacceptable. For that reason, the Council, through a unanimous resolution, is now demanding weekly water testing for all fuel contaminants. The order calls for the Navy to facilitate weekly sample testing by an independent party and the installation of additional monitoring wells to the west and northwest of the Red Hill facility. The resolution demands that the Navy submit unredacted laboratory reports, good luck with that, to its Board of Water Supply and the public, and also take any other necessary actions to protect the public safety and safeguard public drinking water supplies. This sounds like a job for 5-0. You know what I mean? Hawaii 5-0. Book 'em, Dano. This guy's got poison water. We talk shit about Boeing, and usually for good reason, because they're always doing some shit where their planes fall apart. Meanwhile, they're also a military industrial contractor, too. So, you got that going for them. But their workers, though, they're seeing the bullshit, and they want more. So this is Boeing union wins 25% raise in tentative contract, but possible strike still looms. A tentative deal was made early yesterday morning between aerospace giant Boeing and the union that represents more than 33,000 of its workers. Was a testament to the collective voice of the employees, said the union's bargaining committee, but members signaled that they may reject the offer and vote to strike. The company and the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, IAM, District 751 reached an agreement that if approved by members in a scheduled Thursday vote, would narrowly avoid a strike that was widely expected just days ago, when Boeing and the bargaining committee were still far apart in talks over wages, health coverage, and other crucial issues for unionized workers. The negotiations went on for 6 months and resulted on Sunday in an agreement of 25% general wage increases over the tentative contract's 4 years, a reduction in health care costs for workers, an increase in the amount Boeing would contribute to retirement plans, and a commitment to building the company's next aircraft in Washington state. The union had come to the table with the demand for a 40% raise over the life of the contract. Members will now have only one set of progression steps in a career, and vacation will be available for use as you earn it. Negotiating team leaders John Holden and Brandon Bryant told members, "We were able to secure upgrades for certain job codes and improved overtime limits, and we now have a seat at the table regarding the safety and quality of the production system." Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. So this is the summary of what they got: the wage increases, job security, retirement, all that stuff. So Jordan Zakarin of the pro-labor media organization More Perfect Union reported that feedback he'd received from members indicated a strike may still be on the cards, and hundreds of members of the IAM District 751 Facebook group replied, "Strike," on a post regarding the tentative deal. The potential contract comes as Boeing faces federal investigations, including a criminal probe by the Department of Justice into a blowout of a portion of the fuselage on an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 jetliner that took place when the plane was mid-flight in January. The FAA has placed a limit on the number of 737 MAX planes Boeing can produce until it meets certain safety and manufacturing standards. So them demanding safety from Boeing, yeah, good luck with that. You'll probably get the 40% before you get the safety, if we're being totally honest here. Another union, surprise, surprise, who likes cracking heads and, thinks protesting is not a good thing. Well, they love them some Trumpy. They love Trumpy. So the nation's largest police union endorses Trump. I guess Kamala, the ex-cop, is not copy enough. The 377,000 member, I think this is supposed to be FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, I believe that's, joins the International Union of Police Associations and the National Association of Police Organizations in endorsing Trump. And there's a picture of Trump there. Looks like he's trying to take a shit, and this guy's like, Trump shit, delicious. The Fraternal Order of Police, FOP, America's biggest and oldest police union, on September 6th endorsed former President Donald Trump. During his time in the White House, we had a partner and a leader. Today, Mr. President, we stand with you. Fraternal Order of Police President Patrick Yose said at the group's meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina, "We have your back. We're committed to work tirelessly for your election, including cracking heads if necessary." If necessary, we're going to do it anyway. The National Union has endorsed candidates from both major political parties over the years, but has favored Trump during all three of his presidential runs. After Yose introduced Trump, the Republican presidential nominee drew frequent applause from the FOP as he described steps he intends to take to bolster police, pursue stricter penalties for serious crimes, and crack down on illegal immigration. Because Harris is a former California prosecutor and Trump is awaiting sentencing November 26 for business records offenses in a controversial New York case, some of her supporters have characterized the race as the prosecutor versus the felon. Following the FOP endorsement, the Republican Party was branding the former president and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, as the pro-police ticket. That's the ticket. So, yeah, Love cops. I love cops. Cops are great. All my friends are cops. Everyone's a police officer, whether they like it or not. I love it. You know, people are saying that cops are everywhere, right? Fuck that guy. Meanwhile, hey Chuck, what's going on, buddy? Meanwhile, Sleepy Joe living up to his name, Sleepy time. 532 days off, nearly 40% of his presidency. And there he is, I want more sleep. I'm so angry. A recent analysis by the Republican National Committee, of course, reveals that U.S. President Joe Biden has spent a substantial portion of his presidency on vacation. Data show that at 81 years old, Biden has taken 532 days off in less than 4 years, making up about 40% of his time in office. This means that President Biden has accumulated more vacation days in a shorter span than an average American worker would over nearly 5 decades. Given that the typical American worker receives 11 vacation days annually, if they're lucky, Biden's time off equates to approximately 48 years worth of vacation days for the average worker. Critics have questioned the appropriateness of the president's extensive vacation time, particularly during periods of global instability and domestic issues. Probably one of the reasons why he dropped out of the race, because he needed more sleep. And he's probably hiding from the Yemenis, people who have been kicking the U.S.'s ass in the Red Sea. So the U.S. is losing the Red Sea battle. Global repercussions to follow, says Bloomberg. Boom, 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 out go the lights. The Yemeni armed forces are leading a successful military naval campaign in support of the Palestinian people that has arguably beaten the United States, a Bloomberg report found. Yemen's Ansar Allah advance, the biggest surprise and the ominous axe to the U.S.-led global order. An expert on foreign affairs, Hal Brands, wrote for Bloomberg. Yemenis have presented the gravest challenge to the U.S. self-proclaimed guardianship over global trade routes in recent decades and have arguably beaten a weary superpower along the way. Vietnam. Vietnam. The Yemeni armed forces launched a naval campaign in support of Palestine in late 2023, hoping to establish an embargo over Israeli-affiliated ships sailing in the Red Sea, Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean. Due to the strategic position of Yemen on the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which connects the Red Sea to the Arabian Sea, the country's armed forces have been able to easily limit the movement of vessels in the choke point. According to the Bloomberg report, traffic at the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean to the Red Sea, has decreased by more than half, while the Israeli port of Eilat in the Gulf of Aqaba has gone bankrupt due to the operations of the YA. Year on, the group appears less deterred than emboldened, Brands wrote, highlighting a recent attack they conducted against the Soyunian oil tanker. The report also said that the U.S. efforts to counter the support campaign since January have been middling at best. It highlighted how the YAF, via relatively cheaper and smaller capabilities, was able to control access to vital seas. So yeah, that's how you do it, right? Everybody thinks you got to take on the big guys head on. You know, you're not going to win that way. You're not going to win that way. But chip away, guerrilla warfare. Like I said, Vietnam, cough, cough. You know, they didn't necessarily defeat the U.S., whereas they just wore them out and drove them out because of the pressure at home as well, too. Speaking of at home, I know a lot of people have been in the West getting a lot of heat, and God love you. I hope you get some relief soon. Down around the Texas border and Mexico, though, looks like there's going to be some funsies coming this week for you. This is from the National Hurricane Center. Potential tropical cyclone 6. That chick from Stranger Things. No, that was 11. Was it 11? I don't know who 6 was. It's forecast to strengthen to a hurricane by midweek. Tropical storm watches are in effect for northeastern Mexico and extreme southern Texas. For the latest, visit hurricanes.gov. The system is forecast to become a tropical storm today as it moves near the western Gulf of Mexico coast. Tropical storm watches are in effect for northeastern Mexico and extreme southern Texas. The system is forecast to become a hurricane before it reaches the northwestern Gulf Coast by the middle of the week. While it is too soon to pinpoint the exact location and magnitude of impacts, the potential for life-threatening storm surge and damaging winds are increasing for portions of the Louisiana and upper Texas coastlines. Beginning Tuesday night, hurricane and storm surge watches will likely be issued for a portion of that area on Monday, and residents should ensure that they have their hurricane plan in place. Potential tropical cyclone 6 is expected to bring heavy rainfall and the risk of flash flooding from the coast of far northeast Mexico into portions of coastal Texas and Louisiana through Thursday. And there's the thing right there where they're it's just going to be kind of like hugging the coast, as it were. So a lot of we always going to keep you up to date on them hurricanes, because I'm all about that hurricane life. I've been through a few down there in the SIP in Mississippi. So I like to keep an eye on these things for you, especially for my buddies there in Texas, Louisiana. If you're listening from Mexico, you as well. We talked about Vietnam a while ago. One thing they cannot defeat is typhoons, and they got hit with one pretty bad. At least 59 people dead in Vietnam as Typhoon Yagi triggers landslides and floods. Look at that business. That's just ridiculous. At least 59 people have been killed amid the landslides and floods. According to state media reports, the typhoon was Asia's most powerful storm this year and made landfall on Vietnam's northeastern coast on Saturday after causing havoc in China and the Philippines. Among the victims were 6 people, including a newborn baby and a 1-year-old boy, who were killed in a landslide in the Hoang Lien Son Mountains of northwestern Vietnam. Their bodies were discovered on Sunday, a local official told the AFP news agency. Other victims included a family of 4 who were killed after heavy rain caused a hillside to collapse onto a house in mountainous Hoa Binh province in northern Vietnam, and this morning a Cao Bang province. Yeah, these storms are no joke, and they're getting increasingly more powerful too. You're seeing it over there in Asia, as well as here in the northern hemisphere as well. Well, if you were looking to adopt a Chinese kid in China, you better be related. Otherwise, no dice, precious. China says they're banning foreigners from adopting their children. Only blood relatives are exempt from the new rules. China has officially shut down its international adoption program, the Foreign Ministry has announced. The move comes at a time when hundreds of American families have pending applications to adopt Chinese children, according to the AP. Apart from the adoption from one's collateral relatives by blood of the same generation, China will not send children abroad for adoption. This is also in line with the spirit of relevant international covenants. Mao Ning, a spokeswoman for the ministry, said in a first official announcement of the rule change. Sorry, need a little sippy poo. Delicious. AP reported that in a phone call with American diplomats in China, government officials said they will not continue to process cases at any stage other than special cases covered by an exemption clause. Over the last 3 decades, the U.S. has been the most common destination for overseas adoptions of Chinese children. We understand there are hundreds of families still pending completion of their adoption, and we sympathize with their situation, the State Department says. Back in 2007, Beijing toughened the vetting process for foreign adopters with an emphasis on family lifestyle and age, and only accepting applications from heterosexual married couples. Beijing temporarily suspended foreign adoptions during the coronavirus pandemic, but later resumed for the couples who had travel authorizations prior to 2020. China's ban follows similar steps from other countries. In January, Denmark's only overseas adoption agency ceased operations after concerns were raised over irregularities and fabricated documents. In June, Norway tightened controls over foreign adoptions and is now conducting an investigation into whether past adoptions were legal and ethical. So if you're looking to get one of them Chinese babies, well, you are, as the kids say, SOL. Shit out of luck. Yes. Hey, what's up, Kate? Kate over there on the Rockfin. Good to see you. So the new president of Iran is not liking Tehran as a place for the capital. And he says, we're going to load up the trucks and we'll move to Beverly Hills, that is. Iran's new president wants to move the capital out of Tehran. That's a nice looking thing there. I don't know what that is, but looks like an archway. The capital of Iran should be transferred from Tehran to a city closer to the country's south coast, President Masoud Pezeshkian has said. In a speech on Saturday, the president, who took office in July, suggested that it is pointless to keep developing Tehran due to the numerous difficulties faced by the city. The capital is currently plagued by water shortages, land subsidence, and air pollution, among other things. Oh, it was the capital in Flint, Michigan? I didn't know that. It's as cited by the news outlet Javan Online. Tehran, as the capital of the country, is facing problems to which we have no solution, the president acknowledged, suggesting that the best way out would be to relocate the political and economic center of the country. Simply telling residents that they should move out of Tehran will not work, and the government must first go ourselves so that the people would follow us. Or more people may show up because the government's gone. You got to watch out. It could be a backfire thing. There are also economic reasons for finding a new capital closer to the Persian Gulf, through which key trading routes pass, he stressed. Further development of the country is impossible with the continuation of the current trend when we bring the resources from the south of the country and the sea to the center, turn them into products there, and send them back to the south for export, the president argued. That's not the president. That's Lavrov. He looks like he's going to murder somebody. Such a state of affairs severely depreciates and reduces our competitiveness, and we have no other choice but to transfer the economic and political center of the country to the south and closer to the sea, he insisted. GK, I'm not saying that name, who served as Tehran's mayor in the 90s, has disputed Pezeshkian's idea, arguing that there is no suitable substitute for Tehran. Where do you want to go? He said in an interview with the Asr Iran outlet. The former mayor warned that some countries that previously decided to relocate their capitals have ended up losing money and getting two problematic cities instead of one. Tehran, which has been the Iranian capital since 1786, is located in the north of the country, 63 miles from the Caspian Sea. The city is home to 9.4 million people, nearly 17 million in its greater metro area, making Tehran the biggest city in Iran and Western Asia and the second largest metropolitan area in the Middle East after Cairo. Yeah, so this new president said, yeah, our shit sucks. Let's go find somewhere else. The people are like, hey, wait a minute. Why don't you just go and then we'll see what's up. Hey, we got Kim and John in the house. What's going on? Good to see y'all. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. So it's hard to say this without giggling. So Egypt is looking to get some of its stuff back from Germany that they stole in one of the Indiana Jones movies. I'm kidding. I'm okay. Egyptian archaeologist petitions for Nefertiti bust, giggity, returned from Germany. And there she is. She's got kind of a I don't know what that's going on there. They got a little cataract thing going on. Otherwise, nice looking person. Nice, nice cheekbones there. It's very nice. Renowned Egyptian archaeologist and former antiquities minister Zahi Hawass has launched a petition calling for the repatriation of Queen Nefertiti's iconic bust, giggity, from the Neuss Museum in Berlin to Egypt. The bust, giggity, a key symbol of ancient Egyptian artistry and culture, was discovered in 1912 at Tel El Amarna by a German archaeological mission. The following year, it was transported to Berlin, where it has remained on display, sparking long-standing debates over its rightful ownership. Amarna, where the bust was found, was the short-lived capital of Pharaoh Akhenaten, Nefertiti's husband, who ruled Egypt until around 1335 BC. Akhenaten, also called the Heretic King, and in some places the Burger King, is infamous for his religious reforms, shifting focus to the exclusive worship of the sun god Aten. His reign also, His reign also marked a significant transformation in Egyptian art, which became more naturalistic. See, you get your culture on when you watch this fucking show. No shit. Finally, the Arab world has its first nuclear plant, and it is in the United Arab Emirates. And there it is right there. Very nice looking. Very, looks very clean. Looked like they built that in city skylines. The UAE on Thursday announced the completion of the Arab world's first nuclear power plant, calling it a significant step. That's a horrible name for a power plant. Abu Dhabi's Baraka nuclear energy plant, that's the name, will produce 40 terawatt hours of electricity annually after its fourth and final reactor has entered commercial operation, the state-owned Emirates Nuclear Energy Corporation has said in a statement. It will generate 25% of the electricity needs for the Gulf state, where air conditioning is ubiquitous, nearly the equivalent of New Zealand's annual consumption, ENEC said. The station will power companies, including the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, one of the world's biggest oil producers, Emirates Steel, and Emirates Global Aluminium, ENEC said. It says aluminium. I'm saying it British, all British-like. Baraka, which means blessing, or nuclear meltdown in some translations. In Arabic, started operations in 2020 when the first of its 4 reactors went into service. Saudi Arabia, the world's top oil exporter, has also said it plans to build nuclear reactors. Ruh-roh. Emirati President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed hailed Baraka's completion as a significant step on the journey towards net zero. We will continue to prioritize energy security and sustainability for the benefit of our nation and our people today and tomorrow, he said in a post on social media platform Tweeters. No word yet on where the nuclear waste is going to go. I mean, they got a big ass desert there. I guess they could dig a hole. But I don't know. I think that's the one thing you have to consider, because I think Australia is taking some of the United States' nuclear waste. I think from their submarines that run on nuclear. But we'll see. Good luck to them. And, just don't put it in the rivers. You end up getting the 3-eyed fish from The Simpsons. We talk about the UK and how they did have all this crazy shit with their getting people in jail over posts. Well, they're at it again, only the BBC. Trying to block humanitarian aid. Oh, what delightful Brits you are. Chip, period.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets they are true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Fingerman, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good morning. BBC blocking major Gaza humanitarian appeal, insiders say. So NGO officials have accused Britain's public broadcaster of blocking a major humanitarian appeal for Gaza. The BBC, which placed the appeal under review, is said to be concerned over a potential backlash from supporters of Israel. Oh, you think? Several other television channels have agreed to air the humanitarian appeal for the embattled Palestinian enclave. The campaign is organized by the Disasters Emergency Committee, The Guardian reported on Friday. The BBC claimed DEC's appeal had failed to meet all the criteria for a national appeal, but noted that the option to air it was under review, a position that dismayed the DEC, an umbrella group of UK charities. Sources within the DEC, the BBC, MOUSC, and aid agencies accused the BBC of blocking the appeal because it feared backlash from groups supporting Israel in its war on Hamas in the Gaza Strip. One senior NGO figure said that the staff were furious at the BBC's decision. The DEC follows 3 criteria when launching an appeal. The scale and urgency of the disaster must warrant immediate international humanitarian aid. DEC member agencies, or some of them, must be able to provide effective and swift humanitarian assistance at a scale to justify a national appeal, and there must be evidence of existing public sympathy for the humanitarian situation or the likelihood of significant public support should be an appeal be launched, according to the DEC's website. The DEC is an umbrella organization of 15 leading UK aid charities raising funds to address humanitarian disasters. And then, of course, the numbers there that we've reported on endlessly. So that's the thing. It's like we're trying to get aid out for these people who are getting genocide. It's like, oh, we're going to block that because it's going to offend the genocide. Prim and proper. Bob is your uncle. This is always fun. You know, the United States like to put out their own version of propaganda, and it's usually the CIA that's involved with it. But then they also have to, you know, when they get caught and busted, they have to go like, oopsie sauce, it wasn't real. So here's the no shit Sherlock story of the day. No foreign attempts to interfere in presidential election detected, says U.S. intel. There's funded by idiots. U.S. authorities have not detected any attempts by foreign actors to directly interfere in the upcoming presidential election. Representatives of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and the Federal Bureau of Intelligence have, I believe that's supposed to be investigation, have stated. Intelligence officials did, however, claim that Russia, Iran, and China are trying to sway public opinion and sow discord in American society. Says, well, there's no proof that they're doing this stuff, but you know they're doing it. You know they're doing it. During the 2016 and 2020 elections, U.S. intelligence agencies repeatedly alleged that Moscow was deploying hackers and using information warfare to swing the vote in favor of Donald Trump. Don't forget the Buff Bernies. The Buff Bernie, you know, Buff, look at these muscles, look at my tits. My tits are great. I have great tits. These are union tits. None of these claims have been proven true. A report released by Special Counsel Robert Mueller in 2019 found them to be baseless. During a multi-agency press briefing in Washington, D.C. on Friday, an unnamed representative of the ODNI said, we have not observed any foreign actors seeking to interfere in the conduct of the 2024 elections. Instead of interference, the IC assesses adversaries so far focused on using information operations and propaganda, projecting, to try to shape voter preferences or undermine confidence in the election, the officials said. And here's this piece of shit. Kirby, the love bug. Yeah, wild stuff there. So they had to admit they're not actually doing anything, but we like to say that they are because it helps kind of push the agenda along there, right? And I found this yesterday. I thought this was interesting. This is from the tweeters from Matrix Mysteries. And it's not so much like political propaganda. It's just propaganda in general. The quote is, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. That's by Mark Twain. This is a thread exposing the everyday lies and propaganda we've been sold. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not a thing, right? Why it's not the most important meal. The claim that breakfast is the most important meal was a deceptive marketing tactic by Edward Bernays, the king of propaganda, designed to increase sales of meat products like bacon and sausages. This No? Okay. This misleading slogan has contributed to excessive eating and rising obesity rates under the guise of nutritional necessity. Reality is that breakfast's importance is overstated. Balanced eating throughout the day is far more crucial for health. Fluoride is not beneficial for your teeth. The push for fluoride in water and dental products is a deceptive tactic by the dental and pharmaceutical industries to boost sales and falsely promote oral health. Giggity. Advocating for fluoride allowed these industries to cut costs and avoid proper filtration while misleading the public about its necessity for dental health. The true motive behind fluoride promotion is financial and possibly a control method too, not health related. Let's see, let me see if I can go and get this. Skincare industry hides simpler solutions. The skincare industry pushes an array of expensive products to create the illusion that complex routines are necessary for healthy skin. By promoting a multitude of products, the industry benefits from increased sales and ongoing consumer investment, despite evidence that basic routines with fewer high-quality ingredients can be more effective. Healthy processed foods are often not healthy. Now, that's not a shock. The food industry falsely labeled processed foods as healthy, using terms like low-fat or whole grain to mislead consumers. These products are often full of unhealthy additives and artificial ingredients. The real aim is to cut costs and boost profits, deceiving consumers about their true nutritional value. The list goes on here. I'll do one more. Cardio is not the best way to lose weight. The notion that cardio is the best weight loss method is a myth pushed by the fitness industry to sell programs and equipment. Solely relying on cardio is like day trading for quick gains. Strength training, like investing in dividend stocks, provides long-term benefits by building muscle and boosting metabolism for sustainable fat loss. And this is related. Saturated fat is not the enemy. The demonetization or demonization of saturated fat was a deliberate lie by health campaigns and dietary guidelines to promote low-fat products and reduce perceived heart disease risk. In reality, saturated fats in foods like butter and olive oil are healthy and beneficial. Recent research debunks this myth, showing that balanced dietary fats, including saturated fats, are crucial for overall health. And I'll have the link for this thread after the show. But it just goes to show you how we've been lied to over and over and over again. Not just about politics, but about everything. Anything that you could put a dollar value on and somebody can make a buck off, they know that they know that they're going to try and just lie to you. There is no consumer protection anymore. You are the consumer protection person. You have to read these things. You have to seek out this information for yourself because they're obviously not going to provide it. I'll try and provide it for you, but we need more than just me. And finally, folks, I think Ed, you shared this with us. This is fun, and this is something I'm going to actually investigate after the show today. I don't really know how to put this, but well, if someone lost a bag full of Lucky Charms at the corner of Addison and Lawndale, let me know. I found it. They found this bag of Lucky Charms. Magically delicious. It's right there. If you like Lucky Charms and you're in Chicago, you're in luck. And in fact, it's still there, at least since last night. So it's just a bag of Lucky Charms hanging from a pole off the street right in front of the Primex mufflers. Come get your mufflers and come get some cereal that may have saturated fats in it. Actually, don't eat that. There's all kinds of poison in Lucky Charms with the dies and all that stuff. So, and the thread's funny too. It's where he says, "Sorry, that's ours. Coming back for it later." He says, "Bring a step stool. The pole is about 9 feet high." I, for one, appreciate the follow up, and this seems like some sort of artistic statement. And then someone took it overnight. Nope, there it is. It's still there. So, I didn't really have a kicker for today, and I thought, this is just kind of some bizarre shit. Find a rando bag of Lucky Charms in a clear purse hanging on a pole. So if you're in Chicago, I'll be heading down to the corner of Addison and Lawndale probably in about 20 minutes. Meet me down there. We'll have a good time. We won't eat the cereal. We'll try to keep it away from unsuspecting passerbys who may be in the mood for something magically delicious, but also magically deadly as well. I believe I have taken up enough of your time today. I believe poor Willie's been having technical problems. I think he's going to try again tonight with Shane Coughlin. They're going to talk about MMT tonight. I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen. But he's on the YouTubes. I think he's on Twitch too. So check it out tonight. Just look out if you're subscribed. If not, you should be subscribed to his channel, and I get those notifications when he goes live. It's kind of random at this point. He's dealing with the tech stuff. So, but Willie always needs our help there, and our support. Of course, our buddy D, Around the World, D and Friends tonight, as usual. She'll have her show probably around 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and on her own channel too. D Piers, I believe, is her personal channel. So give a like, share, and subscribe to both of those if you haven't done so already. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go look for cereal. I'm gonna look for street cereal. It's not code; it's actual cereal. And if I see it, I'll take a picture as proof of life. Life cereal, you get it? See, proof of life. No, it's proof of Lucky Charms. And I will report back on Wednesday, but I'll probably put it on the tweeters and forget about it, because that's usually what I do. Anyway, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for showing up and watching this shit. We don't do the deep dives. There's other people in this space who do that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for that, you got your favorites. Go check those out. We're always giving you just like the boom, 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 get it in, get it out, giggity, giggity goo, giggity goo, giggity schmoigan. And I appreciate all of you watching. If you liked what you see, if you're new, if you're a lurker, if you're watching this later, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Rockfin, and Rumble. We also have you can go to my link tree. It's ExtraBulla. Is the link tree. It has all my links there. There's some donation links. I'm also on Zelle too. I got the Zelle thing, so that's pretty cool. But obviously if you can't do it, that's no big deal. Just like, share, and subscribe. That always helps just as much. Anyway, I'm gonna make like a baby and head out. Have a great day. I don't believe I've got anything going on later tonight or tomorrow, so I'll see you back here Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific. Peace out, home slice, wash your ass, or don't. It's your life, it's your ass.
This is SETI Alpha 5! Woo! Damn good song, wasn't it, dog? You like that song? All right.
Soon.